fastest show in sports.
When it comes to college football, there is nothing more important than rivalry games. And the Southeastern Conference has made a decision that will affect rivalry games, but in the bigger stretch, the decision they made within the last month or so, it's all about the money.
We've got breaking news out of college football where the SEC will be going to a 9-game conference schedule starting in 2026. Each school will play 3 annual rivals, such as the Iron Bowl, while other 6 games rotating among the remaining schools in the conference. Each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years, and every opponent home and away every 4 years. The SEC now joins the Big Ten and the Big 12 as the power conferences with a 9-game schedule. The ACC is expected to follow suit and add an extra conference game in the near future, per multiple reports. So this comes on the heels of the college football playoff, talking about the current schedule. Strength metric has been adjusted to apply greater weight to games against strong opponents. An additional metric, record strength, has been added to the selection committee's analysis to go beyond the team's schedule strength to assess how a team performed against that schedule. This metric rewards teams defeating high-quality opponents while minimizing the penalty for losing to such a team.
I love what the SEC is doing. You know why? Because it takes all these weak sisters of the poor game out of college football. Every single year, we are hit, and I have been harping on this for decades now. Every year we are hit with the really big programs, the powerful programs, who put these gimme games on their schedule. When I was covering the University of Miami, for many years it was always FAMU, Florida A&M University. It was a gimme game. FAMU could not compete with the University of Miami if they tried. If half the Miami team stayed home and drank beer, they still couldn't contend. It's simply because Miami has more talent. But they put FAMU on the schedule because it was a win. It was a one. That's all it was. It got them a victory. Nobody cared about the game. The game didn't have any rivalry faction to it whatsoever. FAMU made out like a bandit because all these little schools get paid a tremendous amount of money to play the big guys. But the SEC is now saying, no, we keep it in the SEC, which we consider to be the best conference in college football. And at this point, you've got to play good teams. That's 9 games. And you're going to play your rivals still. They're going to come around at the right time. But this is not about rivalries. This is not about anything as ridiculous as making sure that it's rah-rah, sis, boom, bah on the sidelines and you get to play for a trophy somewhere. This is about the money.
The coaches didn't want to go to 9 games. They didn't want to play an extra tough game. The athletic directors and presidents did. And why is that? Well, for a long time, they realized that costs are rising with the new revenue sharing era. They need more revenue streams. And playing an FCS opponent or some lower tier group of 5 opponent wasn't selling tickets. Also, a lot of schools have been raising their ticket prices to prepare for the revenue share era. So not to upset fans and to continue to draw eyes to them, they're saying we need to go ahead and move to a 9th SEC game. Also, they're going to get more money from their broadcast partner, ESPN. My sourcing tells me it's going to be close to an average of about $5 million extra each year for each team in the SEC.
Every single decision that is made at any level of college football in every conference right now is because of money. The big guns have come. Finally, college football is going to cash in like nobody's business. They are going to be one of the wealthiest, if they're not already, one of the wealthiest sporting leagues, organizations, groups, if you will, in American sports. Because fans want it. Fans want to see these games. And not only that, the Big Ten and the Big 12 are running the show. Because when the Super Conference comes around, and it will, mark this down, we've heard this all before, but put this in stone. The Super Conference is coming. And the Big Ten and the Big 12 right now are the ones running the show. The SEC wants to sit out there and say, hey, we're the best conference in college football. Guess what? You're good, but when it comes down to the money, you're falling behind. The Big Ten and the Big 12 right now, they are running the show. And they're the ones that are going to decide who is in and who is out when it comes around to this Super Conference idea. Fans, look, your rivalry games are going to stay. They might skip a year. Who cares? Is it really that important to fans that they have the rivalry games? I'm not even so sure anymore. I mean, granted, there are some who will say that we've got to play this team every year. We've played them for 100 years. We've played them for decades. But that's not what college football is about anymore. College football is professional football junior. And in that stead, it is all about the cash. So the SEC saying you have to play one more conference game means you're keeping great competition within the conference. You're not allowing somebody to go out and play a weak sister of the poor and just go ahead and get a 75-2 victory because it looks good on the record and it pumps it up. You've got to be better. When it comes to the college football playoff, you've got to play the hard competition. If you can't live against the hard competition in the season, then you're out. This is another reason why I have said for so many years that college football needs to go to some kind of a relegation system like in soccer. Each year, you play certain teams. As you move up the ranks, you get to play better teams. As you come, let's say you come from a C group to an A group, then you got to play A and B group teams. If you're a B group, you got to play the A and the C's. If you're the C's, you got to play the uppers here in the B's and the C's to try and get better. Look, it's not that hard. But you're going to have to play on schedule now, more than anything else. And those games are going to make money. And there's another factor here, too, to think about. The SEC is not doing this because they want to. The SEC is doing this because they are told to. Their master is Disney, ESPN. The college football conferences right now, their masters are the television networks. They're the ones pulling the strings. They're the ones making sure that the money keeps getting funneled. So if they tell them to do it, they will do it because they have to. And if it comes at the expense of a rivalry game here and there, who cares? And I really don't think you, the fan, will care either. As long as you get to watch your team and your team gets to contend for a national championship or a conference championship at least, but as long as you're in a contention mindset, you're going to be happy. Okay, we don't get to play the big rival again this year. Okay. Hey, we're contending for a national championship. We're contending for a conference championship. I don't know if fans are going to be that upset. But at the end of the day, this is all about where the money is set, who gets the big money, and how it gets distributed. And if the SEC, well, it's funny, we're talking about the SEC here. The ACC is dead. Look, the ACC has got to understand that you're just not that good. You got one great team, maybe two, maybe three. But when it comes to the overall stretch of things, Big Ten, Big 12, SEC are going to run the show. Eventually, the ACC will die. It will get absorbed by somebody else. It will be its players. The first time that there's a super conference and Miami and Florida State leave and Clemson leaves for the super conference, ACC is dead. That's why they're barely hanging on at this point. That's why the SEC will do what they're told by ESPN. Get rid of the rivalry game. Put another conference game in there. If you say you're the best conference in college football, then play your games in the best conference. Unfortunately, we are still going to get the weak sisters of the poor games that are going to lead off the year if you're one of those programs. Now, a lot now, here in 2025, to begin the season, you saw some really good games. You know why? Because the networks pulled for it. Because the ESPNs, the Comcasts, the Disneys, these are the people that are saying, you will make us the money, you will play these games, we'll back it, we'll pay you. Done. Well, there's a chance we might go 0-1. Yeah, but there's also a chance we can go 1-0 and we can contend for a college football playoff berth. Everything now is more focused on the end than it ever was in college football. And frankly, I think that's a good thing. Because college football is professional football. It may as well go ahead and just drop the pretense. It is college football in name only. Now, with all this, what happens when the players unionize? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.